16th. Wow. Today's Saturday, May 16th. Not sure about that Thursday thing. 2020. And this is episode 2 of my journey with the Enchanted Map Oracle card deck by Colette Baron Reed, as illustrated by Jenna Della Grottaglia. So yesterday I pulled Talisman in reverse, and I said I would percolate on that today. I am very technologically challenged, so I don't know that you can even see that. So that was the reverse of it, and this is the upright of it. So a lot came up. And, one of the things about me is I fancy myself a wordsmith. I find it very important to really understand for me what words truly mean. And so I struggled a bit with Talisman. I had my own notion. I talked about these being my talismans. Interestingly, when I, traced the word root of talisman back, I found that talisman is a French word taken from an Arabic word, Talisman, which is taken from ancient Greek, Talisma, which means completion of a religious rite. Ultimately, what I learned was that it comes from a verb, telio, I complete or perform a rite. And after much research and journaling and meditation, I realized that the essence of talisman and the root of the word being a verb is about what really separates it from like the word amulet or a good luck charm is the fact that it is consecrated by the person who creates it. And that act of consecration is the telio, if you will, that is the root of talisman. So I know this is a rabbit hole for many people, but this is how my mind works, and this is how my ascension process works. I then thought about, how this applied to me, and this card talking about, what path am I going to take? Am I going to continue on forward with caution in unfamiliar territory, as I see her in this card stepping forward? Her back's to us. She's not going back. And so to me, the decision's already made. I can go back to some uncomfortable, repetitive patterns, which have been thrown in my face recently and have kind of pulled me away from my authentic self, but I'm aware of that. Or am I going to step cautiously forward? And all of a sudden I had the big aha, or Colette calls that a big pearl, that the map is my talisman, right? I talked about wanting to be a cartographer and really being into maps and collecting maps, and the book, which I found that hit me on the head and got me on this whole journey 2 years ago. The map is my talisman. And the discomfort in the path I'm taking is doing this YouTube video. I so don't want to naturally put myself out there. It is very uncomfortable. I am not somebody that likes to be seen exclusively. I like to be acknowledged. I want people to tell me I'm a great person, and I've got all those issues and ego complexes and archetypes. However, putting myself on a video and talking about me and working with oracle cards is not my comfort zone. So I found that very interesting in terms of the card I pulled yesterday. It was showing me right where I was in the moment, and that this whole journey with the map and video blogging this, or whatever this is called, is my decision, is my talisman. So that was yesterday's card. So today's card, I tried to change my computer around. And again, I'm very challenged with technology. I'm 55 years old. I didn't grow up with computers. I, didn't grow up with cell phones. I had to learn all this because of the work I used to do. So this is just, certainly not something that comes naturally to me. But I backed up my computer so you could see the cards this time. Yesterday, I realized you couldn't really see how I was handling the cards. And so once again, I did a little grounding actually before I came on here. Some stretching, and that's for me is really important, just to stretch and get oxygen flowing and get my blood flowing and get movement going, and then just kind of relax and take deep breaths and really sit into it. And again, I don't have a very specific ritual other than I do that, and I set intention or prayer. I think prayer and intention are very important. I use those words interchangeably. When I pray, I don't ask for things. I intend. I intend to be happy. I intend to be honest. I intend to live my highest truth. I intend to be in alignment. I intend to shine my light brightly. I don't pray saying, please help me to do this, because for me that tells the universe I feel as if I'm coming from a place of lack or not having enough. I'm going to get my coffee because my mouth is really dry, excuse me. Of course, I had to put it way over there. Okay. So just going to get centered, get a little more grounded. I call in the divine. Some days that's God, some days that's spirit, some days that's the divine, but it is that one that we are all part of. I am part of the divine. I believe we all have a piece of that within us, and I actually call that my God spark most of the time these days. So I open that channel, and I also call in anyone in spirit who loves me unconditionally. And I don't know what I think about, the classifications of spirits and that type of stuff. I probably believe in what most people will call angels. I do know I have some spirit guides that are specific for me. I invite them in, any of the angels, and any of my ancestors that have gone before me that, again, love me unconditionally. Everything is in love and light. Nothing is bad. Nothing is evil. That's a construct that we create in our minds. And I ask that I be removed from my ego so that I can honestly share what is meant to be shared. Shared? Wow. Really? Shared. There's no right or wrong way to shuffle. The only thing I think is really important is that you set your intention, you ground yourself, you have an idea of how you're going to pull the card before you pull it, and which direction you're going to pull it. And sometimes, you can fan them out and then just pick a card. Just let the universe know that that's how you're going to do it. There's a lot of cards in this deck. I'm just going to put them all back together and pick how I usually do. So, get on with it, right? So the question, though, we got to set the question. I got to tell you, the veil is thin right now, meaning I am very in touch with the non-physical world, and I've had some really intense dreams, perhaps some out-of-body experiences this morning as I was in my hypnopompic state, or that state between sleep and wake. And so, regardless of my question, Spirit's going to talk to me about the energies that are around me right now. I have no doubt. So, we're just going to do a question that's similar to yesterday's question. What do I need to know today in the next 24 hours for my highest good? And I chuckle because, of course, I pulled another card in protection, and it is education. And I will show you in the reverse position. That's what it looks like. And then just in the upright position. And so, again, I don't ever recall pulling this card, and I haven't used this deck a whole lot, so I don't know it well. And so part of this, the purpose of this is to show you how I get to learn a deck. And when I look at the images on the deck, you know, she's sitting there reading a book, and there's a figure that's jumping out of the book, and there's light coming out of the book. You know, the book is coming alive is the first thing I see. I see the crane next to her, quarter moon, and it's a cloudy sky. It's gray. She's sitting on some rocks, and there's like mist or water underneath her. You know, the colors aren't vibrant, except the color coming out of the book is a bright, you know, illuminating light. She looks calm as she reads it, you know, so I kind of feel that energy. It makes me feel hopeful and calm. And for me, I do this exercise with the visual because I'm so in my head. I'm a Libra with Aquarius rising and Aquarius moon. So if you're into astrology, you know that that's triple air, which is mental in your head. So I'm so good in my head that I have convinced myself that my thoughts are my feelings at times. So it's very important for me personally to really get in touch with the colors and the energy and the feeling of this. And sometimes you might see me do some tapping, you know, just to say, hello, heart, wake up, you know, let's come down here instead of come from here. So we're going to look up and see what this says in the book. Life is filled with lessons. Be teachable. And I pulled this in reverse. Stubbornness and the desire to know it all and be right no matter what will not get you what you want. Or could it be that you're afraid to be seen as someone who knows less than you're supposed to know? Could you be flying through life by the seat of your pants, hoping no one will notice you're skimming the surface of things? Life is filled with lessons, some bitter, some sweet. A strident lust for certainty will never bring you the wisdom you seek. Pretending to know more than you do won't make you wise. Be assured that not knowing is a magical place to be. All manner of mysteries are revealed. Be open. It's okay not to know. Well, I think there's going to be a lot of journaling today. Ouch, right? I did a lot of studying yesterday because I wanted to know exactly what that talisman meant and what that word meant and how this all applies and what this means to me. And I love research. I love reading. I love learning new information. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's about the balance for me, and not to lead from there right now. I need to learn to lead with my magic, with that true voice inside of me. My head, my thoughts, which are my ego, keep me from that, tries to protect me from that, not in a bad way, but protects me because it's unfamiliar for me to lead by my heart. That was never safe from a very early age. And so it's very walled off. There are stacks and stacks of books between me and that heart. So I know that when I dig deep into the books and the research, it's a slippery slope for me, because I'm bypassing a bit. And again, it feeds the thought, it feeds the ego, it makes me think I am spiritual. But when it originates in my mind, it's not. It needs to come from here. And so this is a great card. The desire to know it all and be right no matter what. And I do that. I am not somebody that wants to speak anything that's not right. I don't want to be wrong. Are you afraid to be seen as someone who knows less than you're supposed to? And that used to be true when I was in a more traditional work setting. I did not want to be seen as the person that was not prepared and didn't know or understand what I was doing or talking about. A strident lust for certainty will never bring you the wisdom you seek. That's a good phrase for me to keep in my mind. And I like the very end of this. Be assured that not knowing is a magical place to be. All manner of mysteries are revealed. Be open. It's okay not to know. And for me, and I believe for many of us who have been through complex layers of trauma, it's not safe to not know. You know, I'm very vigilant. I'm hyper vigilant at times. I need to know my environment. I need to know my surroundings. I need to know who's coming and going. I need to know when my wife is coming home from work, because if she comes home and startles me, I'm afraid I'll scream or throw something. So she has to let me know before she comes home that she's entering into our space, so that I can prepare myself, because I need to know what's going on around me, because that's always been equated with safety. And so, it's important when you're doing this work to know that about yourself, and know when you're not feeling safe, right? And to know where you can feel safe and just let the magic flow. So a lot to think about today, and definitely a different card than yesterday. So I think I'm going to take heed of the adage, I believe it's a Buddhist, it may be other faith traditions too, chop wood, carry water. I'm going to go outside and get out of the books and get out of my head and do physical labor and be in nature, and hopefully play with some kids today, because that always helps me get out of my head. So thank you for tuning in today, and I will talk to you tomorrow. Namaste.